Welcome to the Deep Dive. We sort through stacks of sources to pull out the insights you can really use. Today, we're looking at an ancient source, but one with some surprisingly powerful wisdom for dealing with fear.
Yeah, and finding strength, even when things feel, completely overwhelming.
Exactly. So our mission is to unpack this specific passage. It's actually a prayer from a king who was in serious danger. We want to see not just what he wrote, but how those ideas, thousands of years old, can actually help us build trust, maybe deepen our relationship with God, especially when life gets tough. So if you've ever felt kind of surrounded by challenges or just needed a reminder of where real security comes from, well, this deep dive is definitely for you.
Okay.
Let's get into it. Our source is Psalm 56. It's a prayer from King David.
Right.
And the background, the context here, it's really intense. David's been captured by the Philistines in Gath.
Yeah, just pause on that, Gath. That's Goliath's hometown. David's literally in the lion's den, completely at the mercy of his sworn enemies.
Wow. Yeah, and he talks about feeling oppressed daily, people twisting his words, watching his every move. It sounds terrifying, frankly, a moment of real vulnerability.
It absolutely is. But what's just fascinating right from the start is David's response. Despite the fear, which must have been immense, he writes, and this is from the text, "What time I am afraid, I will trust in thee." And then he doubles down. "In God I have put my trust. I will not fear what flesh can do unto me." It's not like the fear vanishes,
Right.
It's a deliberate choice. He acknowledges the fear, what time I am afraid, but then he consciously decides where to put his confidence. He's choosing not to be paralyzed by it.
That phrase, what flesh can do unto me, that really jumps out. He's facing actual physical threats, right? Torture, death, maybe.
Yeah.
What does he mean he won't fear that? Is he saying he's suddenly bulletproof?
That's a great question. And no, it's not about suddenly being invincible or denying the danger. Flesh here, it represents human power, human limitations, what people can do to each other. So when David says he won't fear what flesh can do, he's basically declaring that his ultimate security, his hope, it isn't tied to what his captors might do. It's not dependent on human actions or power. His trust is anchored somewhere higher, somewhere beyond those earthly threats. It's like a spiritual defiance saying, you might harm my body, but my core trust, my connection to God, that's beyond your reach.
That's a powerful distinction. And he goes even deeper into, God's awareness of his suffering. He talks about his enemies watching him, plotting against him, and then he says this incredibly intimate thing, "Thou tellest my wanderings. Put down my tears into thy bottle." Are they not in my book? Tears in a bottle.
That's such a vivid image. What's that telling us?
It's incredibly revealing, isn't it? It shows this deep belief in God's meticulous care and profound empathy. The idea of collecting tears in a bottle, a lacrimatory, was actually a practice in some ancient cultures, often linked to mourning or deep sorrow. Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So when David says, "Put my tears into thy bottle," it's more than just poetry. He's tapping into this idea that every single tear, every moment of grief is seen, counted, and, preserved by God. And telling his wanderings means God is tracking every step, every displacement, every bit of his suffering.
So it's like God keeps a record.
Exactly. This conviction, this absolute certainty that his deepest pain, every tear, every struggle, is not just noticed, but recorded and remembered. That's what fuels his confidence that God is for me. It makes his trust unwavering because he knows he's not alone or forgotten, even in the absolute worst of it. It shows a God who is intimately involved, not distant.
Yeah, that's really something. It makes the connection feel so personal. So, knowing this isn't just abstract faith, but this deep personal awareness God has, how does this translate into practical wisdom for us, for our own Gath moments? What principles can we pull from David's response here?
Well, what's key is how active David's trust is. It's not passive waiting. First, he really models honestly acknowledging fear, but not giving into despair. He says it plain, "What time I am afraid," he admits it.
Right.
But the very next breath is the pivot, "I will trust." So it's not about sloughing the fear down, it's about facing it, naming it, and then consciously choosing a different response, placing reliance elsewhere.
Okay, so acknowledge, then redirect. What else?
Second, there's this intentional focus on God amidst the actual present threats. He could easily just fixate on the Philistines, the prison, the danger, but he shifts his gaze, his focus. That line, "In God I have put my trust, I will not fear what flesh can do," That's him deliberately choosing to make God's protection his primary reality, more real than the danger around him.
And it feels like his past must be playing a role too, like remembering other times he got through things.
Oh, absolutely. That's the third principle, the power of remembering God's past faithfulness. Now, he doesn't list them all in this specific psalm, but David's whole life story is full of deliverances, the lion, the bear, Goliath, escaping Saul again and again.
Yeah, true.
That history fuels his current conviction. He's thinking, God came through before, he can come through now. It's like drawing on a bank account of past experiences to fund present hope. That retrospective trust is huge in a crisis. And fourth, and this one is maybe surprising, it's a commitment to praise and gratitude, even right there in the middle of the hardship. Later in the psalm, David says, "Thy vows are upon me, O God, I will render praises unto thee." He's talking about offering praise during this struggle, not just waiting until it's over. That shows a faith that's deeper than just feelings or circumstances. It's choosing to affirm who God is, regardless. That's a powerful way to push back against despair.
So acknowledging fear, focusing higher, remembering the past, and choosing praise even when it's hard. That leaves his actual talking to God, right? The prayer itself.
Exactly. The fifth principle is simply prayer as this vital channel for relief and courage. He's pouring it all out, the fears, the tears, the wanderings. Bringing those raw emotions directly to God isn't just about asking for rescue. It's the act itself, that intimate communication that builds resilience and deepens the connection.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So for someone listening right now, maybe facing their own fears, their own big challenges, how do these ancient principles actually work today? How can they strengthen your trust, your relationship with God right now?
Well, I think Psalm 56 offers some really practical takeaways for modern life. First, it encourages us to face our fears honestly, but then courageously redirect our focus. Feeling afraid is normal, it's human, but the moment you recognize that fear, you also get to choose. Where am I placing my trust? Is it in God and my values, my support network? That active choice, that redirection, that's what builds courage and actually deepens your reliance on God over time. You're exercising that trust muscle.
Right. Actively choosing.
Second, it really pushes us to intentionally focus on our true sources of strength. When things feel unstable, where do you naturally look for grounding? This psalm points towards spiritual faith, towards that connection with God as the unshakable foundation. It's about consciously bringing that anchor back into focus, especially when the anxieties of life are swirling around.
And that idea of remembering past wins, that's something we can all do. Like you said, not just Bible stories, but our own lives.
Precisely. That's the third point. Regularly recall your own past victories or moments of support. Think about times you got through something tough. Maybe you felt God's help. Maybe it was support from others. Remembering those specific instances fuels your confidence for current struggles. It builds your own personal history of faithfulness, which makes your trust in God, or whatever your anchor is, much more concrete. It affirms his past work in your life.
Okay, that's practical.
Fourth, actively cultivate gratitude. Try to maintain a positive perspective even when things are difficult. Choosing to say thank you even for small things, or finding something to praise when circumstances haven't actually changed yet, that can fundamentally shift how you feel and build resilience. It's like a failing God's goodness is bigger than the immediate problem, which deepens trust in his character.
Even when it feels forced at first, maybe.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
But the practice itself changes things internally. And finally, fifth, make prayer or maybe focused reflection or journaling a consistent practice. Use it to manage stress and actively build that trust. Processing your fears out loud or on paper, bringing them consciously before God or just into your own awareness, it releases tension, helps clarify things, and crucially, it strengthens that direct line. It helps build that intimate tears in a bottle kind of relationship, knowing you're seen and heard. That fosters real courage.
It's interesting how these all work together. It's not just one thing, is it? It's about balancing that real fear with an active faith, constantly seeking strength in that relationship with God, and using hope and gratitude as anchors.
That's it exactly. It provides a way to navigate life's challenges with real courage.
So we've dug into this ancient prayer written literally thousands of years ago by someone in extreme danger, and found it offers a pretty powerful blueprint for navigating our own fears and building trust that doesn't easily shake. It really comes down to that conscious choice, doesn't it? Deciding where to place our security, our hope, regardless of what flesh can do unto us, as David put it. So, as you think about all this, maybe reflect on this question. How will you apply these insights from David's experience to strengthen your own trust, your own relationship with God, the next time you face a challenge?